So
go ahead.
Today's meeting is an effort to continue a dialogue which we had already initiated between the Aketer Kingdom Alliance and the Sons and Daughters of Africa in the global Pan-African diaspora, the community of people who are not within Africa, who are in the States, who are also outside the States, to ensure that both home and the diaspora are working together for mutual benefits to improve the welfare of our people and to continue with the process of reinforcing our African identity, wherever we are in the world.
Well, perhaps you could begin by saying your name and introducing the name of the organization. That would be a good start.
Yes, so I am Gabriel Opolot Ononge. Gabriel Opolot Lononge. I am the minister of one of the units of the Aketer, that is the Teso Cultural Union, the Teso Kingdom, a minister of animal industry, and I'm also the Secretary General of the Aketer Kingdom Alliance. I am based here in Uganda, coordinating the activities with the teams, and I'm happy to be part of this meeting on behalf of the Aketer Kingdom Alliance. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Odora Oyingo, are you able to introduce yourself, sir?
How are you all? I'm Odoro Yango. The J is for Japheth. I'm coordinating the affairs for Aketer Kingdom Alliance in Kenya. I'm based in Nairobi. I also work for an organization that deals with issues of development and engineering. It's part Kenyan, part American. It's called the Lone Hampton Associate East Africa Limited. So I'm also glad to be part of this, see how we can connect the diaspora and the African continent. Thank you.
Thank you. Richard, are you able to join us now? Can you unmute yourself, Richard? And we have Mary J is joining us now as well.
Yeah, hello?
Yes, Richard.
Richard Okarany is my name. I am the Attorney General of Teso Cultural Union, one of the kingdoms that associate with the Aketer Kingdom Alliance here in Uganda. And I'm also one of the members of Aketer Kingdom Alliance, LLC. I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mary J, could you introduce yourself, please?
I don't know if there was a procedure in the chronology of introduction, but my name is Mary Jakait. I'm based in Kenya, Nairobi, but from Teso County.
Okay. Well, and your involvement with the Aketer Kingdom?
My involvement with the kingdom is that I'm the liaison for Nairobi and most of the Kenya, not some of the Kenya events. Yeah, and I've been working with the two gentlemen, Gabriel Opolot and Oduor. I've been working with them closely.
Well, thank you so much. I am Andrew Williams, Jr. I did put my information in the chat. My company is based in Los Angeles, California, actually Beverly Hills, but I also have an office in the Philippines and Asia. And I too represent various organizations on the African continent. In Nairobi, Kenya, it's with the Center for African Volunteers, headed up by Josephat Moses. And in Nairobi, I'm the international chairperson for the Saga Foundation, headed up by Shola Agbula in Lagos, Nigeria as well. But I'm going to share my screen with you. My company is called Andrew Networks. And that is my website, andrewnetworks.com. The reason why I shared that information with you is because I do represent a wide range of humanitarian causes and commercial enterprises, both as the Chief Executive Officer of my company, PARXTC, Export Trading Company, as a way to attract, pre-qualify, indemnify, and expand strategic international business alliances that accelerate the awareness and achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals, but also the African Union Agenda 2063. As you know, this is the first 10-year implementation plan of the AU Agenda 2063. It's ending now in 2023. So this is a good time to start our collaboration so we can move forward for this next 10 years. Through PARXTC, sovereign and foreign trusts, banks, corporations, associations, enterprises, and entities can do business in and through California, the United States and its territories, as well as signatories to the Canada, United States, and Mexico Agreement, and key trading partners from Asia to the Americas, to the Caribbean community, the Commonwealth of Nations, the European Union, the Middle East, African Continental Free Trade area, and worldwide. Again, I did put this link into the chat, but I represent specific partners on a basis of social media. I do have a representative there in Lagos, Nigeria. It's B Hallmark. So with B Hallmark, we're able to provide services that may be of assistance to you. We produce product catalog websites, political websites, news magazine websites, e-commerce websites, corporate websites, educational websites, legal consulting websites, NGO websites, and membership websites. Our representative there, Joseph Akinola, has over 20 years experience in that area. So we can go to work right now with whatever you might need. On an educational basis, we do also represent Black History 365. It's an organization that provides not just books and merchandise, but also online tutorials. And we do have books that are distributed throughout educational systems here in the United States. As far as our business is concerned, we are involved with Ventera Partners. They are an African-American owned company, but also we have Ethiopian partners as well. And here, this may be an area where we can work together. We provide merchant banking and non-FINRA regulated corporate advisory services, restructuring, turnaround, management, strategic planning, debt solutions, etc. Again, this is in the chat, so you'll be able to, if you choose, to save the chat and you can review these. I also sent this to the General Secretary for his overview. For those of you that are in countries that have precious minerals, we also deal specifically with diamonds, and we do have an online website where we can connect together with you. This is also based in Ethiopia, as well as we do have interest in mining in Sierra Leone. We're actually on the ground in Sierra Leone right now. And just last week, I was able to orchestrate a relationship with the Ugandan minister, the Ugandan, the energy minister, because we do also provide petroleum services, such as oil, refined gas, everything related to petroleum industry. So we're able to not only deliver solutions that might be relevant to you right now during this crisis of oil, but in the future, we may be able to also assist with developing relationships where we're actually able to sell products and services in the petroleum field to those of you that may have an interest in it. Also in Ethiopia, we have Ventera Coffee Bean Company. And this organization actually works organically with coffee growers. We handle natural coffee, washed coffee, and roasted coffee. We do have a video on the website there for any of your review. So that's an overview of the basic services that we provide. Oh, there is also, for those of you that are traveling, we do have, let me just get it right here. We do have a relationship now with the private jet charter. They're based in Nigeria, but they do have a fleet on the ground in South Africa as well. This conglomerate represents the majority of the largest combined aviation company in Africa. So we're able to provide jet business charters from any size, private jets, group charters, air cargo. We do also have luxury jets for those that have an interest in that. So in a nutshell, these are the services that I'm able to provide right this minute. And I want to know how I can help to accomplish your objectives.
Okay, that's good. That's very, very good. Members, I think this opens up the discussion to all of us to see how best we can fit in an existing effort done by the Andrew Networks. So the platform is open for us to figure out how best we can have a partnership. I think we can begin from there.
I'm at your service.
Nacho Duor Oyengo, what take do you have looking at the whole list of activities that Andrew is working on? How do we plug in?
Okay, thank you. It's quite a long list, and I must say I'm impressed, because hardly you'll find someone as versatile as Andrew's network. Most time people tend to concentrate on a particular section. If it was coffee, it would just have been coffee, different brands of coffee throughout. So for me, I'll start from where the Aketer Kingdom is on the basics. We represent majorly a rural community, and better part of them have been held back because of the wars that have been there and intentional suppression by subsequent governments not to open up the areas, because our people sit on vast resources in terms of minerals and even the land itself. You find places which have never been tilled. And being someone who is keen on development, part of what we do is promote organic farming, because we think it's time we move away from the conventional farming. It's not helping us, because the more we drive in the inorganic inputs, the lesser the production, and over the years, it's really costing us. So we are promoting a reversal and come with climate smart systems. So I have seen you dealing with coffee. We can explore how we pursue issues around coffee. But the question will be, are there other agricultural produce which the network is able to support and open the various markets, because I see there's Mexico, there's the US, you're talking of Philippines, among others. So we can explore a variety of products that we have. It can be around livestock. It can be around a number of crops. We deal with shea nut, just grows naturally, for example, in Teso region. And unfortunately, our people didn't know the value of it, and they will cut down the trees for charcoal. And there's effort to tell them to conserve. And now that they've realized the oil can bring some money, we think we can partner with the network and things around healthcare, cosmetics, and see how we expand the opportunities for them. And we can look at sourcing for support to have the production unit, get an investor who can come set up, produce from there. We can do the export, because that way we open a large opportunity for more people. There's groundnuts. One time we're trying to get groundnuts to Durban, South Africa. And whoever sent me on an assignment, he needed 1 million kilos of groundnuts. I find this particular farm organization that had 3 million kilos and they didn't know where to take. So the market linkage, I think it will be great in the areas of agriculture. Then of course, there's minerals. I see you focusing on diamond. We'll be glad if there'll be room for other minerals, like gold is easily found in the Aketer kingdom, all the way from South Sudan to Karamoja and a bit of other places. Even in Teso, there are places we can mine. So we can look at such opportunities for that to invest in. Then there's a need in Africa, and I can speak on behalf of Eastern Africa, for housing. I've not heard you mention about it, but we need millions of units of housing. And the challenge is getting people who can finance in the long term. This needs some money that will be put in to be recovered maybe in the next 15, 20 years. So within the network, you can know people who can invest in the long term in the municipalities, in upcoming town and cities. And we are also considering there are people who want to relocate, those who are in the diaspora. They want to come back and settle home. And the challenge is, how do you create the environment they're in? For example, in the US or Europe, back in Africa. Some left 20, 30 years ago, and what they're thinking about Uganda or Tanzania or Kenya is not what they left 30 years ago. And we're saying we can source for places, the land, put up homes or mini cities of their standards where they can comfortably relocate and settle. That is an area to explore, which we're toying around with the idea. I'm in that field of construction, and I've seen a need in that area. Maybe among the last thing for the produce is we produce a lot of honey. And now that people are moving away from sugar, and honey can do more than just being a sweetener. It's medicinal. There are those who even are starting to use the bee stings for medical purposes. Is there an opportunity for us to grow that area? Because for production of bees, that is a year round. We can say there's a month where there are no bees that are hatching, there are no bees that are producing, and it's just a question of how we set it. So it's vast areas where we can partner. I see you're also someone who is really, really wide in terms of your interest. So maybe in the course of a discussion, We can look at 2 or 3 areas where we can focus on, build on that, then get to the other things. And I know Honorable Gabriel will be interested in something he did not mention. We have a convention coming up in September for Aketer Kingdom Alliance, and we're targeting to have it in the US. We are considering Atlanta, Georgia, and New York, where we can connect with the African diaspora in the US and those who are in Canada, where we can do the matching, the need on this side and where the African continent is, and the opportunities for the diaspora and other people who are interested to invest this other side. Because we know that the normal government channels might not open up to all opportunities because they're sieved based on the interest of the politicians. So such convention open up opportunity for the rest of us to say, look, this is the opportunities are there. So that when you approach government, you say, but I'm aware of this, I'm aware of this. Can we come in and support your people? So I'll yield the floor. That is the much I can say as part of my opening. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Before we go further, let me go back and share my screen. Thank you so much for that information. On the Andrew Network's website, I didn't go through all of the partners, but on that list, you'll find 60 Build Tech. They do provide housing solutions, but not just housing solutions. They actually provide a global construction network. They produce factories that produce factories. They could produce up to 1,000 square, excuse me, 1,000 square meters per day of concrete that's available. But these factories cost $60 million to construct. The German government will provide financing for half of that, $30 million. That means that the local group would have to come up with $30 million. But the housing that could be developed would more than offset the costs. So that too is an available option for you if you so choose. In terms of your immediate needs, in terms of the upcoming event for the United States, you may want to consider that all of your participants coming into the United States will need visas. That needs to be done in advance. So this organization, Armu Williams, is based in Alexandria, Virginia, but the CEO, Joyce Williams, she is from Ghana originally. She's also a legal advisor to the African Continental Free Trade Area Policy Network in Accra, Ghana. So she's has her fingertips on the tools and resources that you would need to be able to get your visas approved in advance, but also able to provide you with assistance in developing what it seems that you will already need, which is perhaps feasibility studies for any of the projects that you have in mind. You're going to have to demonstrate that there is a demonstrated need for whatever project that you're bringing to the table. You'll also have to have a complete business plan if you have any interest in getting international support. Just a moment, please. I'm sorry. This meeting's over. Yes, good morning, Don. I'm still in this meeting. Can I call you back in about 15 minutes? Will you be available? Yeah. All right, thank you so much. By the way, that was the CEO of the coffee company and the petroleum company and the gold company. And so for gold, yes, we have an immediate demand for gold, but he only works with direct suppliers, not intermediaries. So the relationships would have to be set up in advance. There is an intake process that requires a KYC or know your customer. So we have exact information about who's involved, who their legal representative is. That's again where Armo Williams may be able to assist you. we can step in and provide the legal assistance for each of your projects, because each of them will need the very same thing. So the idea is to take advantage of economies of scale, so that what we can provide to the Aketer Kingdom Alliance is a one-stop shop for getting you ready to go to the next step. So in a nutshell, I would say that these are the things I could bring to the table right now. But in terms of your upcoming event, let me see if I can share my screen once again here. I would suggest that you be proactive in your planning, even though you're talking about an event in September. It's critical that you begin right now laying the groundwork. I assume you do have people here in the United States already on the ground. What I would suggest is that you consider connecting with those people, or connecting those people with projects that are already going on right this minute. Let me go back to my screen just a moment, please. So back on the Andrew Network's website, in addition to, let me move you around here. Yeah. In addition to actual companies that provide specific services, we also deal with entertainment and also cultural events. Coming up in Canada during July 23rd through the 30th, this WIDA Fest, the Windsor International Diaspora African Festival, will be happening for an entire, week, from Sunday, July 23rd through July 30th. This is going to be a very big event in Canada. It's bringing in people from around the world. And what I would suggest is you think about maybe having a booth there, or even if you have someone that's already in Canada or in the United States, to at least get a ticket there, because they're dealing with carnival promotions, event management, talent discovery, street rallies, festivals. All these things seem to be things that you will need for your own event. So I would suggest that you think about connecting with the WIDA Fest and that team. They may be able to provide you with on-the-ground support right now. You can see that it's not just business that's dealt with, but for those people interested in the African diaspora, we have music, we have drums, we have historical art displays, there'll be fashion runways to introduce designs from around the world, poetry and spoken words, food from Africa, but also there's going to be an aim is to make this an annual event. So the idea is that it's not just a one-stop shop, but it does provide an opportunity for us all to be able to work together going forward. As you can see, my company, Andrew Networks, PARXTC, we're also a part of this network. So this is what I also bring to the table. The important thing is for you to decide how we can work together. I'm ready right now. So with that, I'll open the floor to questions, or perhaps Mary or Richard or the Honorable Opalot can take the next step to share with me what's available or what your priorities are.
Thank you so much, Andrew, for that very elaborate submission of options. I would request that we hear the comments from Attorney General Richard as well on the question of gold. How do we go about, because we have plenty of gold, and then we definitely needed buyers, and that's where we have a challenge.
Well, Richard, let me tell you right now that the call I took was from a gold buyer, and I just arranged a mining operation or a mining investment in Tanzania, but he already has gold mining operation in Sierra Leone. But the idea is that gold is his prime concern. When I get through talking to you, I'll talk to him. So I would suggest if you have gold on the table, let's bring it to the front.
Councilor Richard.
Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, I have listened to Mr. Andrew's comments and observations. And I'm impressed the wide range of activities we are engaged in. Before I touch on gold, well, I want to say that my friend Odror really dwelled on a number of things that where we can work areas, we can collaborate. But I just want to mention one thing, and that is the areas of renewable energy. Renewable energy.
Yes.
As a source of energy, especially for the poor, the less privileged, and even a majority of the urban population in Africa, Uganda, in East Africa. They are cheaper and more sustainable sources, which have not been tapped. There has been a lot of emphasis on hydro power dams, which are very costly, and the power is not cheap anyway. Most governments, I don't know why, but project finance has not been very readily available for these other alternatives.
Excuse me,
which
excuse me,
change lives.
Excuse me, Richard.
Yes.
Those are general problems that exist. I'm telling you right now what I can offer. That's what I can offer.
Yes.
So if gold is on the table, let's bring it forward.
Yes. So anyway, there is gold available.
Where?
And in Kampala.
Through whom?
And we need to only agree how we are going to deal. The most preferred method you want to engage in, because there are practices here. So we look at how you want to do it, what is comfortable on both sides, and then we work out some way we can work going forward.
As I said, in Uganda right now, I just executed an agreement where this company is working with the Ministry of Mines. So it would be necessary if you have people on the ground that are owners of existing mining operations, and you say you need investments, then bring them to the table.
Yeah, that can be worked on. I think going forward, if you have a team down here, we can start already sitting down to design ways we can collaborate and work.
Well, nothing starts until we know exactly what we're talking about. I'm sorry, am I too loud? Yeah, I'm sorry, it's early here in the morning. So at any rate, okay, we'll have to put a table in that, but I can't move forward until I have specific information to work with. Thank you. Next.
Hello?
I'm here.
Yes. Anyway, that is my what I had to say about it. So maybe we can get back to you with a concrete proposal on that. Yeah.
That would be the way. I can only work with concrete proposals.
Yes. Yeah, we can do that.
Thank you.
Put together something and you look at it. Yeah, thank you.
Excellent.
I yield back to Honorable Porot. Gabriel, are you there?
Yes, I got a bit of
my network disturbs a
local
bit.
call that interfered with my communication. I think going forward, we will request that we hear something from Mary Jakait over events, because we have that event, WIDA event in Canada, and then we also have events here in Africa. How can we work with the Andrews?
So I go ahead.
He was asking, you have events happening now. What events do you have that perhaps we could either assist you with or that we can help you promote in the United States?
Stakeholders in the September engagement.
You're breaking up. Could you repeat that, please? I think he's asking about the event in September. I think that's what he asked.
Yeah, so that event actually, first of all, thank you so much, Andrew, for the extensive and detailed presentation. It was clear, so we just have to see where we come in. So before I give my remarks, I'll first dwell on what he has actually asked me to do. We will need assistance with the event in September. Nonetheless, I've seen you have that event in Canada. So just to ask, do you have a red card, or how do we come in case we need a booth? Because I know we have people in Canada who can actually represent us there. And all the things you mentioned, we can give the food, our heritage, all that, we can do that. But what do we need? Do you have a red card, or what do you consider before we come in? One.
Of course, I have a deck.
Yeah.
I can share the deck with you. They're working on, excuse me, they're actually working now to finalize the promotions, but I'll put a deck in Gabriel's inbox and he can review it tomorrow. It's a bit late here now, I have other meetings, but I can get that to you.
Sure. And then the next question is that for our event, we would probably need you to assist, if it's possible for us to get maybe sponsors and just promotion. For us, we need it to be successful, so we'll need you probably to give us to add on what we have. And also in the future, we have a few events in Africa. We would like to put in Uganda and Kenya, and we will still need more guidance when it comes to that.
Well, in both cases, you usually would take at least a year in planning to get these things done. By now, it seems like you have less than 6 months. That's still something doable. For example, this project in Windsor, they only got approval in January. So they're working now about 3 months into their project, and they have about 2 months left. So I would have to know what stage you're at. But again, I can refer you to people that this is their business. This is what they do. But you have to let me know where you are right now, and then what budget you have to work with and what outcomes you expect. If you need to, we do have people that can help you put together a sponsored deck, but everything has a cost. So you have to have a budget to work with. In order to get something out, you have to put something in.
So do you have a red card, or something that is always just maybe they calculate by the need when they see the need, or so we have to look into that. And probably, do we need to have a deck for you to look into that before? By then, that means that by explaining to you exactly where we are at.
I really don't need a verbal explanation. I need a video presentation, or preferably a deck that describes what it is that you have in mind. I can share with you a draft right now on my screen. Just a moment, please. This is not the most recent deck, but it is the deck that was put together for this project. It's about 18 pages long. You have a table of contents to describe your project, etc. The event features, sponsor prep categories, and then it gives an overview of what you're intending to deliver to your client, how you expect your sponsors to get deliverables out of what you're doing. It does describe specific descriptions there of the particular activities involved, but in your case, it would have to be relevant to your business objectives. And so it would be up to you to be the one to describe what you want. For example, this platinum corporate sponsors $60,000 for the corporate brand or major sponsor goes down to $45,000, $30,000, $15,000, $5,000, $1,000, $500, $250. So you have to yourself be able to have at least as professional a presentation as this to get anyone to pay attention to what you're trying to get done. To put something like this together might cost anywhere from $500 to $1,000. And depending on how much material you have, it might take a week to 2 weeks if we start from scratch. I don't know what you have already, but that gives you an idea of where to start from.
Yeah. No, thank you for that. At least I know where we can start with you. And then also now from your presentation, I realized you had, when I look at the education, you have the education sector, and also there, because that's the resource that we have here, especially in our rural area. We would wish, I would want us to look into how to partner in terms of improving the education, one. And second, there's also this girl child empowerment and women. I come in also in terms of gender. And also when we look at the ICT, let's say the tech bit of it. So I would also want to see how we bring in, let's say, technology back home in terms of also adding value to agriculture, because we have vast land. And so how do we improve that? We want to, the way Odwar said.
All I can bring to you is what I presented to you.
Oh, so there's no way you can assist us in getting maybe any other besides
All
what
I
you
can,
have?
all I have is what I have.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Mary, for your submissions.
So unless there are other questions, I'll send this video recording to you so you can review it if you choose, and we can take it from there.
Sounds fine to me. And if you have the red card, Honorable Gabriel, sorry, I interjected. I just wanted to just confirm if we can all get the red card later so that we can see.
I'll drop this into his chat right now. It's not the most recent one, but it is a good example. So I can put that in his chat right now.
Okay, sure.
So with that, thank you all so much. Unless there are any other questions, I have another meeting in about 2 minutes. So I'll be happy to answer any other questions you might have, or we can follow up when you let me know you're ready.
Okay, we thank you for your time. We will follow up with you once we have converged. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.